The plug-in hybrid market has slowly been gaining purchase in Australia, and Kia has jumped on the bandwagon with the new Sorento GT line PHEV, which is on test for this review. My family and I have been seeing whether or not the new powertrain makes this large 7-seat SUV one to look out for. There are 5 grades available for the Sorento, and we're family testing the flagship PHEV GT line variant this week. The new powertrain does make this almost $15,000 more expensive than its flagship petrol and diesel variants, which might be hard to justify for some, but it does position it as the more affordable option when you compare it to other top-grade PHEV rivals, albeit premium rivals, in the Volvo XC90 and the BMW X5. This grade enjoys all of the perks such as heated and ventilated front seats, heated rear outboard seats, a heated steering wheel, wireless phone connectivity, a panoramic sunroof, and a premium 12-speaker Bose sound system. You also get a bunch of practical family features that I'll go into more detail later on in the video, but the biggest question that this variant poses is whether or not the price hike for the plug-in hybrid powertrain is worth it. The full specs are in my detailed written review at carsguide.com.au if you need more info. The Sorento looks like an SUV should. It's large enough to earn the class position, but it's not terribly bulky looking. This is a well-proportioned and handsome family SUV, and I quite like the 19-inch alloys because they complement the car's size, and the really interesting LED lights because they really pop at night. Head inside and you're greeted by beautiful big displays as well as physical buttons and dials. Everything's easy to find, and despite the fact there's lots happening here when it comes to accent panels and tech, it's a comfortable and not an overwhelming space to be in. The finishes are really good in here with quilted Nappa leather upholstery, soft touch points throughout, as well as a luxy black suede headliner. The cabin looks luxurious but is still very functional. The room up front is very generous, and the seat comfort is excellent with the extra features, wide seat bases, and expandable under-thigh supports. Access to this row is quite good because of the wide door apertures and the 176mm ground clearance. There are lots of storage cubbies up front with a large glove box, middle console, the usual cup holders, as well as a dedicated phone cubby underneath the dash. The dual 12.3-inch displays look great, and the touchscreen of the multimedia system is responsive. It's also an easy system to navigate and get used to. I like that you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, sat-nav with over-the-air updates, as well as a colored head-up display. The digital instrument panel isn't really customizable, and I don't love the layout, but it tells you what you need to know. The charging options are good throughout the car with a couple of USB-C ports in each row. The middle row also gets a 12-volt port, and up front you get a wireless charging pad as well. There's lots of room in this middle row. The headroom is just a little bit compromised because of the sunroof, but for my 168cm height, it doesn't bother me at all. I really like that there's no transmission tunnel in this row, so middle seaters get a lot more legroom. And this row also has 3 top tether points, and it's wide enough to fit 3 child seats side by side. I love all of the amenities you get back here, like directional air vents, those USB-C ports, as well as 2 map pockets and device pockets, the usual drink bottle holders. And my son really loved the retractable sun blinds and that the cup holders are well positioned on the door handles. I am surprised though that for the grade level that you don't get climate control back here. The third row is definitely a sometimes seat for adults and even a bigger kid. You do get a few amenities back there, but the biggest plus back there is the fact that you get 2 additional top tether points and ISOFIX mounts, which should delight families. With the third row up, you get a small 175 litres of capacity available. That was actually okay for the small amount of errands I did this week. But if you do pop that third row down, that jumps up to a healthier 604 litres, which is much better for a family SUV. You get a full-size spare tyre in this and a powered tailgate, which is great. And I like that it's a level loading space for larger items, much easier to slide them in and out. This grade has a plug-in hybrid powertrain which combines a small electric motor and battery with a 1.6 litre 4-cylinder turbo-petrol engine. Together they produce up to 195 kilowatts of power and 350 newton-meters of torque. This is a part-time all-wheel drive with a smooth 6-speed automatic transmission, and it does have enough power to move this big body around, but you do suffer when it comes to brake to towing capacity because it's almost halved from its diesel sibling at 1,010 kilos, which might not appeal to some adventuring families. The GT line PHEV has a WLTP electric-only driving range of up to 57 kilometres, which isn't massive, but enough for a short daily commute. And with its low 1.6 litre per 100 kilometre combined fuel cycle usage and 67 litre fuel tank, expect a long time between filling it up, especially if you charge it often. After my week with it and doing longer highway drives mixed in with some short errands, my trip computer has averaged 7.2 litres, which is pretty good. This has a Type 2 charging port, and on a 3.3 kilowatt AC charger, you can charge the 14 kilowatt hour battery from 15 to 95% in a reasonable 3 hours and 26 minutes. And I really like that Kia throws in an at-home charging cable. The GT line PHEV hits most of the beats you would expect it to when it comes to power delivery and its gear changes. And it does have enough power that it feels relatively quick for its size. There can sometimes be a smidge of confusion as to which system's going to dominate, either the engine or the motor, but most of the time this powertrain works quite well on the road. The suspension is a bit springy, and you'll notice that most in corners where there is a bit of roll. So it's not one that I would go hard in a hairpin turn-in, but other than that, the ride comfort is pretty good. You go over the bumps, I wouldn't say it's floating, but it's definitely softer suspension than what I would prefer in an SUV. The steering is responsive enough that it handles itself well in the city for quick city lane changes or things like that. But it is on the softer side. So if you're a driver who likes strong feedback from your steering and handling, this won't hit that beat for you. But most of the time, it's a very forgiving SUV to drive. This has regenerative braking, but it's not super strong. You don't notice it when it really activates, and it's not really customizable. I did find that this car is quite heavy to brake, especially in the city in stop-start traffic, where it can feel like you're kind of lurching through your lane. The cabin noise is minimal. You get a little bit of engine noise when it kicks in, but otherwise it's a very refined cabin to spend time in and easy enough to chat with all 3 rows. It's really easy to park the Sorento because it has a clear 360-degree view camera system and multiple parking sensors. But one of the coolest features of this car has to be being able to move it backwards and forwards via the key fob. So you don't even have to be inside the car. Perfect for when you're in a tight car space. This variant is covered by its sibling's maximum 5-star ANCAP safety rating from 2020. It features 7 airbags, but the third row isn't covered by curtain airbags, which is really disappointing for a family SUV. It does come with some great features though, which includes a firm favorite of mine, the blind spot view monitor, which pops a video feed of your blind spots onto your instrument cluster. But I also really like that it has emergency call functionality, side exit assist, and a digital rear view mirror. And those annoying beeps and alerts that Kia is known for its traffic sign information can be easily muted now via the steering wheel, which makes this much more pleasurable to drive. But if you're after more details, check out the full review at carsguide.com.au. The Sorento is covered by a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which is pretty good for the class. There's cap price servicing for 7 years or up to 70,000 kilometres, and services average at $764, which is on the expensive side. However, servicing intervals are spaced at every 12 months or 10,000 kilometres, which could get a little bit annoying if you do a lot of travel. The Kia Sorento GT line PHEV is a sumptuously appointed 7-seat SUV that has all of the modern comforts. It handles itself maturely on the road, but I'm not convinced on the new powertrain, as it doesn't offer a particularly long electric driving range and it comes with a much steeper price tag. If you're after power, efficiency, and a better brake to towing capacity, the flagship diesel variant might be the better bet, and that's why it gets a score that's on your screen now. But if you're after more details, check out the full review at carsguide.com.au, and I'll see you next week.